help to win this battle. Let's go.
Come on, Storm. Back to work. Must hurry, okay? People are dying. See you down there.
All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms. Words are very unnecessary, they can only do harm. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms. Words are very unnecessary, they can only do harm.
right, namaste and lakech, my family, and welcome to another special with my brother, Mr. Tone Millard. Tone, how you doing, brother?
What's up, my brother? Glad to be here.
Yeah, I said I was going to record this, but we're live right now. We're live. No, I'm just kidding.
Better not.
We're live
Don't
right
you
now.
do that
For
to me.
everybody listening. So, we're having a lot of fun, but me and my brother have been working diligently in the past, honestly, about 90 days, I would say, is about how it's really been on working at night, assisting in clearing different territories, people, groups, and it's quite a bit. Let's just talk about that for a second. There's a lot of interaction going on in the astral and the spiritual planes. There is a spiritual war, let's just say, playing out. But to stay in the positive side of it, me and you have already come through, almost like we crawled out of the river Styx and we're in the boat now, and now we're helping others. There's something about this where a lot of us star seeds, star warriors, I say light warriors, light beings, we're kind of becoming like, indestructible as far as our frequency and our consciousness. And a lot of that has to do with choice. And a lot of that has to do with what we think about. And a lot of that has to do with being of service and coming from our hearts. So, my brother, we talk almost every day and we go over dream time. He sees me up on ship or we're doing training simulations and vice versa. But it's always good to have a partner, ladies and gents. It could be your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, or your best friend, whoever that may be for you. But it really is nice that once you reach a certain vibrational level, to actually share some of that content with one another, because you will find more similarities than differences.
Yeah, we're living way more than one life right now. And
yeah.
Dream time is becoming ever more apparent in that regard, that, how just it's actually taking more of our consciousness, the awareness of that. It's every bit as real as this reality of you and I talking right here, right now.
Right.
Back in the day, it was more of, dream-like. Now it's becoming much more real-like. And so it's amping up in terms of the activity and what we're doing every night. There's like dozens of sequences, in one sequence. You can be going through the school. One sequence, you can be, doing your training. Another sequence, you're rescuing somebody. Another sequence, you're battling directly yourself. And so a lot of times people are waking up saying, I feel like I got no sleep. Well, you really didn't. You were really like training all night long. And
right.
So, it's good to, make sure that, from time to time you do take some time to rest, even beyond sleep, be it meditation, be it going into a spa, or like for you, steaming, something to kind of clear and recoup your energy, because we are going through it right now, big time, all night long. And, we're becoming much more aware of the multidimensionality and just how many lives we are active in right now.
Right. What do you think on average? How many dimensional realities do you think? Let's do this. The average person, like the unconscious, let's just say, the medium, like I'm awake, I'm realizing what energy is, and then the advanced, right? I think it's over the past 15 years, about 20, 25 for you. The rate of climb is what I'm getting to. Like, how many realities are we multiplexing every night? I, on average, can remember at least 3 a night, 3 different simulations a night. I think that's
usually an average. I know that I've been in, like, recently at least a dozen on several nights, where like even trying to like write that down, it becomes a blur, because there were so many different sequences, so many different aspects of the simulation that I was in and out of. And so, but I'd say for the average person, it's probably, just 1 or 2, that's not awake. They go into the like lower 4D and they deal with the dream sequence and things like that. But for those of us that have been like astral projecting and meditating and doing vision quests and things like that, that's like just the basic bottom level. And we're always trying to punch past that. And so usually, it's at least, for me, it's usually at least 3 to 4 per night that I can remember. And then, like I said, lately, there's been ones that like it had to be at least 20. Like I woke up going, I can't count how many things I just went through. It's like an obstacle course.
Yes.
Obstacle course.
It's more like a gauntlet.
Trying to
get you, and you're running through a gauntlet. Yeah. No, I just feel like I feel the acceleration over this this next 600 days or 300 to 600 days, and as everything's changing, geopolitically, not only on the planet, but financially and all of the different frequencies, the solar events that are taking place, the Schumann resonance going up. There's a lot of different changes I feel that are happening to our biology. And I do feel that right now, a lot of people are going through not only like, ego deaths, let's just call it like that, where that's more like a construct in your mind, a belief system. But I actually feel the human body is actually having true biological, energetic resets right now. And as we're clearing our past, as we're moving towards this future point, this event, that we're all kind of, heading towards together, whether that be full disclosure, whether that be some sort of DNA activation for the whole planet. I feel that it's very important that every single night to, really, have the energy and time to really process what's going on in your dreams, because your dreams are the snapshot of what's going on around you energetically. And for people that, aren't, don't have a dream journal, maybe you should try to get one. For a lot of people that don't like to journal, what I have found is that if I wake up in the morning with a download, I will film myself with the front facing camera of my phone, and I'll just get the download out. And then when I go to replay and watch it on the phone, I can memorize it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like you need an observer to help you pull back the different aspects of what your dream was trying to show you. So I find that's really important. But during the day right now, I feel like a lot of health and wellness and self-care is necessary just so you can be in a calm meditative state at night. What are some of the things that that you focus on specifically for your own health and wellness and detoxing?
Well, yeah, diet number one, because our diet is definitely under attack, mainstream food sources. So try to do organic as much as possible. Try to stay away from the sodas and things with a lot of artificial sweeteners in them. Recently, one of the things that's happened to me is my body has become so hypersensitive to everything that I put in it that I've literally had to just go off of everything, even including caffeine and coffee. And that was real fun for about a week or two to try to remain coherent and not a zombie. But it's a testament to what you were just saying, that our bodies are energetically changing, and they're forcing cleanses and detoxes because of the genetic changes that are going on, the energetic changes that are going on, and the aforementioned stuff that's going on during dream time. We need the extra energy, and we need to fine tune and dial in our bodies and our energy as much as possible, just so that we can navigate throughout the day without being constantly exhausted. So yeah, on the first thing I would say is definitely cleaning your diet up as well as possible, trying to get as much organic stuff in you. Read your labels on your food. Anything that you have a hard time pronouncing, try to discard that the best you can. I know it's not real easy because 90% of the stuff that's on the shelves is garbage, but wherever you can, try to clear up your diet and what you're consuming and putting in your body to help your body make those changes, especially genetically, which that's a whole other ball game that we are battling right now. Because even on that front, now what they're trying to do is put all of the mRNA products into the food to corrupt the DNA. And of course, we know exactly why they're doing that. They know what is coming with those genetic changes. They know that once the DNA comes back online, that is game over for them, because with that fully online, quote unquote, dormant DNA coming back on, that switches on full telepathy, that switches on all your psychic abilities, clairvoyance, all of that stuff. And once you have that on, it's very hard to be deceived. And that is how these guys have ran in the shadows for ages, is through deceit and through misdirection and things that have kept the public at large confused. And so once that comes back on, you see through that like it's child's play. And so again, cleaning up the diet, working on your energy daily, whether that be getting into nature and just sitting on the earth, sitting in very pure frequencies, sitting with your back against a tree and asking the tree to pull anything off of you that does not belong to you, send it down to its roots to be used as fuel. That's one powerful way of doing it. I love deep focused breath work. For me, that has been the game changer for the past few years. Even with the AI and the artificial stuff that they're putting into everything, the deep focused breath work is almost like an internal EMP so that the more that you get that breath work going, you're drawing a charge into the body by hyper oxygenating. You're drawing a charge of electricity into the body, and that cooks a lot of that artificial nanotechnology that's in your body. So I highly recommend deep focus breath work and cleaning up your diet. And then also before bedtime, really get into the habit of doing mantras or affirmations to make sure that the simulation is not going off the rails and taking you into situations that you don't want. Because one of the things they try to do with these simulations is to trigger deep emotions. And a lot of times those deep emotions are not real positive ones. They're ones that, leave you in despair or angry and things like that. So before bed, saying things like, nothing but the highest light may enter my sacred sovereign space. And so it is. Asking your higher self, asking the creator, please guide me throughout the night. Please protect me throughout the night. Make sure that nothing negative enters my dream space, my astral time. Keep me surrounded with your protection.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. What's up? What's going on? No sunglasses. What's up?
Whoa, this is like
across planet Earth. Hello.
Only for me. I'm the only
guy.
Yeah,
listen. I do it for my brother. Okay, you guys calm down. Listen, everybody calm down with the sunglasses. You guys, I got a lot of lights in my eyes right now. Okay, I'm trying to a lot of light over here. No, some of the things that we're all going through, I believe in these simulations and whatnot. I mean, I'm getting a lot of ET interaction tonight. Part of growing up is spiritually is obviously, waking up with that intuition, slowly turning your gifts on, whether it be your throat chakra, your third eye, your energy hands. Some of you guys, it may just be your heart turning on. Your heart has all kinds of different ability sets. Every chakra has multiple ability sets: your root, your sacral, your solar, your heart, your throat chakra, your third eye, your crown, and about 25 other chakras they don't talk about down here. So each of these chakras have different ability sets. I find that in our awareness as we're growing together as a unit, I really want to strive the point of Team Light and obviously all light beings on this planet. We are all growing together. We are all ascending together. The point of us all being here together, like for example, with some of the intel from JP, Riggs, I mean, all the amazing and beautiful speakers that we have at the Rise of the Guardians conference is, I feel like it's like we're all on a big net. Like a big circus trapeze net, right? The thing is that we can't have a low side. So think about the whole planet. We all are skilled in different disciplines. And that's why it's so important. Me and Tone have very similar disciplines. We work very well together, but that doesn't mean that we don't need the spotters, the channelers, the astral projectors. I mean, it's a squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even what you said there, like, yeah, we do a lot of the same work, but like our gifts work differently. Like you've got your third eye, you've got your throat that are like wide open. I don't. Mine is sporadic. I see it sporadically, but I see an energy. So, and I'm able to move tremendous amounts of energy. So a lot of times, even back in the early days, you would spot it with your third eye, and then I would come in with the energy behind that. And so that's a way of integrating different skill sets with your brothers and sisters, where nobody has to be better than the other. Hey, you fill in this gap, I'll fill in that gap. So that's how we work together as a team.
It's a team. It's like if you guys want to win, the Super Bowl, guess what? You need a quarterback, you need a running back, you need a lineman, you need a nose guard, you need defensive back. You need positions filled to move across this plane at an accelerated rate. And what happens is this whole game has taught us to live, it's like Wolf of Wall Street out there. Even in the spiritual community sometimes, it's like everyone's independent, right? And that's fine. Everyone, do your own thing. But here's my point. Do you know how much stronger we are together as a unified front? Yeah. Do you know what happens when you put 13 very powerful beings that are very disciplined in their specific discipline and then share as a unit? That's what I'm feeling. And that's why we created Team Light and Unite the Collective in the beginning. We knew it was a team effort because there's been so many times that I've been in trouble and you and Wendy jumped in and got my back. There's been so many times where I've done activations, and thank God I had Miss Ava or Miss Hudak or even Lauren back in the day for the energy healings and to put me back together like Humpty Dumpty on mission. It's not like you go do a mission, you could be gone in a foreign location for a week. and you spend 80% of your energy in the first 72 hours. Well, guess what? There's 4 or 5 more locations to go. You need to recoup now. You need healing now. And I think that as we get more advanced in the collective, to realize how important the team is. And that's where all the divine female, divine feminine, male or female, okay? But the divine healing energy is so important. You don't realize how much all light warriors really need that divine feminine or that divine healing from one of the people on the squad, because we're dealing with not just an energetic drain, right? When you're taking out someone, closing a door, opening a door, okay, takes a huge amount of energy. It is like a microwave worth of energy that's barbecuing you from your crown, from your higher selves, reaching down in this dimension. You're the transceiver and you're closing something in a lower dimension or a portal. It takes a lot of energy and chi. You need people around you that can refill that, that reservoir of energy, and vice versa. So I'm trying to say is, if for everyone putting their teams together across the planet, this is why I'm bringing this up. Every single light worker, every single light warrior on this planet should know, if you're the warrior, if you're the tip of the spear, who's your number one healer? Who's your number one spotter or, projector who can see into the field? Who's your number one channeler? Who can, if you can't channel, for example, okay, well, can you call your friend who can talk to your higher self and get that information? How fast can you get this done is what I'm trying to say. How do you put the whole puzzle piece together to get the job done? You know what I mean? So that's really what it is, because all of this, misinformation and a lot of the shadow game on this planet only exists because you can't find out who is doing it. That's their greatest gift. This hidden hand, this dark, these dark hats or whatever their deal is, their greatest things they can hide. They're not even the showpieces that you guys see in front in a microphone, even the political spectrum and the corporate structure. Those are not the people in charge. Those are the point men and women. What you have to do is zoom through that illusion and find out who's really pulling the strings. And
trace the ladder to the top.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to explain a little bit about that? Because people, not into a negative format, but rather to go, how do you follow that power structure up to actually who's making the decisions?
Well, yeah, I mean, we know that, right now, of course, we got a lot of division in politics between the left and the right. And we were, discussing that it's, left wing, right wing, same bird is the one that's installing them. And so you need to focus on the actual bird at the top. And at some point, we're going to have to deal with that. I'll be careful on what I say publicly, but at some point, in order for real change to occur, the bird is what's going to have to be addressed and removed from the equation, or en masse, humanity is going to literally have to detach from that system and say, no, we're going to do things our way. We're no longer, acquiescing to that system. But yeah, for now, it's, you've got the families, the bloodline families that have been switching last names for at least the past several thousand years. And they are the ones that the true shadow ruling elite that is ruling from the shadows, and they install pretty much all the governments the world over to keep their anonymity, but they are the ones handing down the dictates of what needs to be done through those governments. And that's why we generally don't see much real change, no matter who takes power, because pretty much all of them are installed by that same group. So at some point, like you said, the only reason that they've had that power for so long is because they've been able to stay anonymous through that means of having a middleman in between them and the public. But once the public becomes more aware and starts tracing that rung of the ladder up to names, locations, things like that, then we could probably start applying some pressure. And it doesn't have to be any kind of, violence, but it can be outspoken people outside of their residences or their places of, where they frequent, and just not holding their feet to the fire and saying, hey, we do not acquiesce to what you're trying to push onto the world, and we're not going to cooperate. And if they have enough people doing that, they'll realize, okay, wait a minute, we can be touched, we can be reached. We're no longer, able to just do these things to humanity at large and not have consequences. because that's what has really happened is they haven't had any consequences. But you can bet once they start having that, they'll change their tune real quick, because as you and I have scanned many of these people, they're not tough people at all. They're like some of the weakest souled individuals, and that's why they accumulate so much wealth and power through the government structures and by manipulating everything, is because they themselves are actually very, very little. They have little power at all. And so, once people start focusing and realizing that, the question is, why are we answering to you? Who are you? And that once that starts happening, they'll be done. It'll be game over.
100%, and that's truly what it is. I mean, the highest vibration rules the room, and the highest vibration rules the world. I mean, it's a universal law. It's not that's how it is on Earth. No, the highest vibration rules the room. The highest vibration rules the planet. The highest vibration rules the galaxy. Yes. It is not I'm a thief in the night with the energy signature of a Snickers bar telling everyone what to do, hiding behind the scenes. So no, that's not what it is.
And then, what concurrently comes along with that highest vibration is that highest vibration is always in service to the all.
Yes.
It's not in service to self. And so that's how you see the distortion here is the ones that have been ruling are entirely in service to self. So it's the imbalance is there. We're here to try to tip that scale back to, wait a second. No. It's for the all. There's a Cherokee saying, if it's not good for the all, it's not good. It's simple.
Hey, that 100%, and that's really what it is. Because there's a lot of us out here that are spiritual people, good people, hearts on, spiritual warriors, light warriors, star seeds, angelics, the 144, whatever definition or vocabulary term you want, starborn. Here's the thing. We're not allowed to act that way. My higher selves would be on me. Oh my goodness gracious, if I showed any sort of that type of behavior. Now listen, while you're going through the wake up process, you're going to be shaking a lot of older programs. While you're going through the wake up process, you're going to go, whoa, I can't believe I believe that. And there's a whole population of people waking up, especially those who just watched the Mr. T 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago with his, dissertation, stating what was going on and a lot of the fraud that was found. What Doge found, all the fraud and all of the stuff, and how the people's tax dollars were used for fraudulent things. Here's my thing: you cut off the money supply to these organizations, and you go, "Hey, now you have to pay for it yourself." You'll see these things crumble like a deck of cards. Yep. You know what I mean? And that's really what it is. You have to cut off the funding to some of these things. Now, listen. Again, not the left wing or the right wing. Monitor the bird. Are there some very good positive things that need to be reinforced and kept? Absolutely. However, in this time period, there's going to be about 60 to 90 days of disruption because they need to freeze all of the accounts to see where the money's going. Like you said, they follow the money. Same with these families and same with these things behind the scenes. Now, we are in tune to some of these different groups' allegiances to some of these politicians. Yes, we are aware. But at the same time, too, I'm hoping that the public wakes up to a certain level. Like, how do we win? Everyone sees the magic trick and how it's done. You know what I mean? Everyone sees the propaganda. People are turning off the television. Like, I don't want to be hypnotized today. Thanks so much. Like, when it gets to that level, like, I'm good. I'm going to go for a jog. I don't want to be hypnotized today. Thanks so much. Once it gets to a place where, you see how the magic trick is done, that's when the world changes. And we all are seeing it right now play out.
Especially with the repetition that we've had. Like, it's been repeating at a certain point. You're like, this is like Groundhog Day. I've seen this again and again. And then you start asking the question, why do we keep going along with this? Who's behind it? And then that's where it starts to unravel.
Yep. That's where it starts to go like, hey, are you guys seeing this too? I'm just, asking for a friend. Do you guys see how ridiculous it's so obvious? But, like I said, those are the vibes that we really have to check. Another thing too is I want everyone to know we love everyone on planet Earth. No matter listen, we were both at one point in our lives unconscious. We were both at one point in our lives attached to the matrix. Let's just say we were just little programmed drones. My issue is that eventually you got to start using that mind and that heart in a different way and start seeing the separation and really start pulling away from that matrix. because that matrix was never designed to assist you, help you, or do anything other than enslave your mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
So that's why some of these negative beings, you feel like they get ahead so much. No, they join a group, they get $100 million in their checking account, and you think they're successful. No, that they're really not successful.
Well,
My
yeah,
thing
and
is that
at
they're
what
not.
cost? At
Yeah.
what cost did that cost them? There's going to be lifetime after lifetime after lifetime that they're going to be serving, and they won't be on the high end of that.
Mm-mm.
You're taking a devil's deal basically. But like even in what you were saying prior to that, I've always said, if you are a fully ensouled being, I don't have beef with you.
Yeah,
at all.
don't have beef with you.
The only beings that like I have issues with are the ones that are predating and parasiting off of humanity and my brothers and sisters.
Yep.
And even then, it's not really even a beef. It's just I know that it can't last that way. We're trying to clean that up and move on. We're trying to get humanity ascended to where it should have been already. So
Yes.
really all we're doing is playing a catch-up game at this point.
And that's what people need to realize. It's not like we're so far ahead right now. We're playing catch up. I feel like I don't want to say how many years, but let's just pick a small number.
10,000.
Yeah. Well, 10,000. That'd be a great number.
In terms of like eternity, that's like one little grain dropping through the hourglass of time. But that's how much they've retarded the growth of our genome with all the manipulations. So we should be 10,000 years more advanced than we are right now. We had not had that interference. And just imagine if an event comes in and like it slingshots that, and then all of a sudden everybody comes fully back online overnight, this whole world, the whole reality changes. Because even what you were saying a minute ago, as consciousness, we're super powerful, but as combined consciousness focused on the same thing, we change worlds that way.
We change worlds. No, that's exactly what we do together as a unit.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about some cool stuff. Listen, we're doing really good right now, ladies and gents, across the earth. We're doing so good. There's things I want to say. We're doing fantastic. We're doing very good. Okay.
We're trying to keep it PG.
We're keeping PG. Listen, I'm like, this is for FluffTube, Facebook, Instagram. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of the stuff we discuss is actually a lot of confidential stuff, but what it is really is you guys need to find in your life a partner, a friend, a brother, a sister where you can speak. Because here's the thing. A lot of us that are going through a lot of stuff in dream time, you need to process that out almost like you're going through like a therapy session, and you need to bounce it off somebody. You can't keep all of that content inside of yourself without a reflection tool. The faster you reflect it off someone, hey, did this happen to us last night? Yeah, we were there. Did you meet that guy? Did you see the Nordics? Oh, yeah. Do you remember what they were talking about? I'm like, kinda. And you bounce it back and forth, and all of a sudden your subconscious and your conscious mind get closer and closer and closer together. And in that way, that is how you kind of become enlightened. You are no longer your conscious mind and your subconscious. Nay, you are both combined. You are both hemispheres operating in a singular unit. So I feel that when we start really interoperating with our soul, and a lot of you guys who feel this purpose, this burning fire inside of your chest, listen, that purpose doesn't go away. And no matter how much you drown it out, and this goes for all age groups on this planet, I got to be honest with you, that fire, it may, simmer down. It may be a little simmering from a raging inferno, maybe when you're in your younger years. But what I'm trying to say is that fire was always meant to be there since the beginning of existence itself. That is our fire from our creator. That is where we sit. We sit in a circle around that fire. And that is kind of who we are as a people, as a soul, as a group. And that fire never goes out. You may walk away from the fire. You may go sleep in a tent, in the dark, 300 yards away. But guess what? Whenever you wake up and get out of that tent and start walking back towards the center or back into your heart, guess what? That fire is always on. That fire is us, ladies and gentlemen. It's
always waiting for you as well. It's always in the background. No matter how much you try to push it aside, it's always waiting in the background patiently for you to come back home.
100%. All right, so we talked about that. What are some things that you feel that are going on right now in the collective that are relevant to pay attention to, especially as we go into this 600 days, till potential contact? What are some of the things that people can be focusing on in their daily routine to assist them? I know the clearing, getting out in nature, but what are some practices that you like to do to make sure that you can stabilize your frequency and make sure that this is your mind and thoughts, not something being projected against you, that's trying to take you off your path?
Well, one of the things is that meditation that I've done several times, but you can even simplify that and just throughout the day do mental check-ins. If you start having like kind of weird thought processes or depression or something out of nowhere, close your eyes and just ask the question, observe the mind. Is this thought process coming from myself or is it coming from outside? And if it is coming from outside, I release anything that is not belonging to me back to its origins, or I send it down into the earth to be transmuted for positive energy. But constantly ask the question, is this my thought processes coming to me? And I always just say, observe, 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 observe the mind, observe each thought that enters my mind, observe each vision that comes across my vision screen of my mind. And as you do that, feel what is doing the observing. Because as you get in the habit of observing the mind constantly, a presence is coming in, a larger presence of what you are is coming into play to do the observation. So constantly say, observe my mind, observe my thoughts, observe even my emotional state. And then as you're doing that observation, as you're sitting with it, try to connect to what is doing the observing. That is your higher consciousness that's doing the observing. You just pulled in a whole other level of power that is taking over. And you can have it, in a sense, kind of babysit the mind. When the mind is trying to go off the rails, you call in that observation, observe my mind, observe my thoughts, observe my emotional state, and then feel what is observing. And that's one way of pulling in the higher presence and keeping the mind from going off the rails where you're winding up in arguments with people.
100%. And I think that's really valuable right now. A lot of us that are going through different things, to be kind to everyone because you don't know what's going on in everyone's lives. And especially with some of these choices that were made over the last 4 years to hold space and assist and help people detox from some of those choices. Realize that we are all one unit and there's so many gifted people out there that need to start trusting within themselves once again, not in a foreign entity, even a foreign government. Rather, is to trust in yourself, the love in your heart, your friends, your family, and the true spirit of creation. You start walking with that beating in your chest, the entire world starts bending to your will because you are actually here to help. And a lot of us are just here to help. And I can't be more honest with you for everyone out there from Sedona to South Africa. We are here to assist this planet raise its vibration and do that with the highest intent, right? So all of us doing this job together is very paramount because the stronger you guys get, the easier it is for everyone else who's been I call it pulling the ox cart, just there's been a handful of you guys out there, you know who you are, that are very powerful and you're beautiful and you're divine beings. And it's time for a lot of people that feel like they're retired, that maybe in your 60s or 70s, maybe you're a little older now, and you're like, hey, I got the nice house up in the hills, or I got the nice house up on the beach, and I can just sit back and relax and let our generation do the heavy lifting. I got to be honest with you, we need everyone, all hands on deck right now. If we really have contact, let's be completely clear. If we really have contact in the next 600 days, somewhere they're in six plus 100 days, you need to be up in training too. Maybe you are not as attuned as you may have been in your 40s and 50s and 60s. Maybe it's time to work on yourself. Listen, we all have to train in whatever way that is. Could be deep meditation, could be yoga, could be your dancing, moving energy. It could be working on your third eye, working with your throat chakra, channeling. It could be healing, loving. Maybe you're a master healer. Your Reiki, your massage therapy, your sounds. Maybe you're an architect. What I'm getting to is right now, prepare to get back into a place you were maybe 10, 20, 30 years ago. This is for the older generation because here's why. The young kids right now need your help and no one's saying it out loud. What has been done to that whole group of kids that were in high school that didn't get to graduate prom, to those kids that are addicted to their phones, to the kids that are addicted to video games, to the kids that think it's okay to be transhuman. Listen, the older generation needs to step up. And I don't want to be like, grandfather Odin over here, being honest with you. You may be fine, you baby boomers out there. You got to look at the younger generations and make sure that this world is assisted in a way that something you can be proud of. And I think that Mr. T, and I think his whole generation is crushing. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of very gifted, powerful beings in that generation. But if you start thinking about the gifts per generation and what each generation is set to do, and you start thinking about it like that, like, oh no. I know for a fact, us indigos, me and you, Tone, we were meant to hold the shield and the sword and hold the line.
Yeah.
That's why we're both in polarity. That's why some of the kids may not really resonate with us, or the Gaia's kids, the older generation, right? That weren't sent to war. Got to be honest with you. That didn't go to Vietnam. That however that happened, there's a pocket where we came in with a very specific job. Wake up, lean against the matrix, wake your friends and family up, share hard, common facts that go straight to someone's soul to activate them to ask the same questions. And in this way, we start coming up. So I feel like us indigos out there, I'm actually the oldest crystal. You're 100% indigo, Tone. I'm actually the OG. I'm the oldest crystal.
Right on the cusp.
Yeah, I'm cuspy.
Yeah.
But I'm here to say is that I just want everyone to know how loved you are. But I also want you, all my light warriors out there, to go, hey, listen, until we get everyone up and running, now is not the time to drop the ball. We have a lot of work to do. And at this conference, I can't wait to meet you in a very positive way. And I'm trying to keep this super happy. I am stubbornly optimistic. And that's something I feel more people need to be. Because what it is when you're stubbornly optimistic, I'm not letting my outside influence of what they think they're telling me I should focus on affect me. I'm going, hey, you guys are doing that. Eventually, you'll grow up and stop doing that. I'm going to keep manifesting the future for my family. I'm going to keep manifesting the golden age. I'm going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to keep one foot. I'm not slowing down in a VCR projector where someone wants you to jump in there and spin you out. They're doing it with frequency modulation. They're doing it with the graphene oxide in the air, the aluminum in the air, the weird shit in your food. They're trying to do it with different jibby jab shots to try to slow your DNA down from remembering who you are.
Yeah.
Because once you remember who you are, you're not going to care who calls themselves king or queen on this planet or who's the boss.
You are beneath no
the whole thing falls apart that fast. You're like, I remember who I am. What?
Once you remember that, you are beneath no other soul in the universe.
That's what's up. That's the truth.
Yeah. Yep. So. Well, yeah, in relation to that, also, we got to remind everybody, stay on top of the metal detoxes. Make sure that you're doing metal detoxes at least once a month at the minimum, because they are absolutely infiltrating everything with the nanoparticulates, the self-assembling nanotechnology. And every single one of us has it in us right now. It's almost impossible not to, because it's in the air that we're breathing. But stay on top of that, because the less of that you have in you, the more power and command you have over your consciousness, the more of your consciousness you could call upon it, because that acts as like a block. A lot of that nanotechnology, the first thing that it does when it starts assembling is it starts attaching to your spine, to your brain synapses, and then it starts to affect your behavior. So the less of that you have in you, the more command over your consciousness and your decision making you have, the clearer your thinking will be. So stay on top of those metal detoxes.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So, what are you going to do at the conference? And we do your meditation again? Or I'm thinking maybe there's a lot of light warriors. Listen,
let's go up on stage and we'll talk about, how we got started, what it is we're doing, maybe get into the dynamics of, energy warfare and what we're doing to combat that, how we help assist clear people. My gal's going to be running a booth on the outskirts there. She's a very powerful psychic medium, healer. She's gifted in clearing as well. So she and I will be doing some clearings. The heavy clearings, like when it comes to like removing entities and stuff, that's more of a private booking. but we can do basic level stuff. And she's a very gifted psychic. So we'll be talking about that kind of stuff. We'll be talking about what Team Light is actually doing, how you and I got started, what we were doing in terms of when we were going around these Earth locations, basically, working on the Earth grid, how we were doing that, and what has progressed since then, how our consciousness has grown since then, and what we're aware of now as opposed to what we were aware of when we first got started.
100%. For people that don't know Tone has been with Team Light since its inception 15 plus years ago, before it was even Team Light.
16 years.
There's a lot of stuff that, we have done on missions, and a lot of beings and territories we have assisted. And, it's nice to hear it from a different person, because, you do videos and you think everyone thinks you're this guy, especially if you're new, right? Let's just be honest. We are the real thing that chose to step in front of a camera. We're not actors. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a fake guru. Me and him have been with our higher selves all the way from. Do you want to tell them what happened? Let's just walk them through what it's really like. Well, why don't you tell them what happened on Cathedral the first time we went to Sedona at midnight when we opened that portal?
Stargate, ISIS.
Oh,
yeah. Go into that. Go.
That one there was different than any of the other ones.
And Bell, the Stargate at Bell. We were opening Stargates.
At one point, we got there. The whole area was being monitored very heavily by non-humans
and U.S. government.
And the U.S. government as well. And it was a very intense situation at first because we weren't sure if we were actually going to have to do some sort of battle with these beings. The cooler, calmer heads amongst us decided to sit us down here in 3D with these beings and negotiate terms to unlock this. And when they understood where we were coming from and what our purpose was, things settled down. Very powerful unlocking, because you could feel the actual. Now we're getting back into the emotion, but these beings actually expressed emotion.
Definitely.
Pure joy when we finally got this done.
Right.
Opening a Stargate, which basically looks like an interdimensional
portal.
Elevator.
Yeah, exactly.
Runs straight up into space.
Yeah, no, that was we literally
that's the very beginning.
We had thousands of lower level entities coming out of this space in the Earth it was basically clogged with really kind of negative energy. A lot of beings were being held captive spiritually down in this location. And so we opened up a portal energetically, and out of that portal, really, it was about 1,000 demonic type entities came out of there. And one of the people we were with got overtaken, and we really didn't even know what we were doing at that point.
When was that? 2010?
Yeah, maybe 2009.
It was 2009.
Yeah. And so we were just kind of learning as we went, but that was like being thrown into, from the frying pan into the fire, literally. And from that point, we realized, okay, this is like a lot more than just, love and light, healing little points here. There are entities that are guarding these points that we had to actually remove from that. And so, that was where we kind of learned on the job, right? Like it was 0 to 150. There was no.
Yeah, they threw us in the deep side of the pool. They're like, you guys can handle it. I mean, even thinking back on that, dude, like I felt like I've lived like 10 lives in this one.
Minimum. Yeah, no, it's that's like 100 lives almost.
Yeah, I mean, just in the beginning, not even having to have me and you just have enough energy to open a portal the size of the top of a sewer grate.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bigger than that, maybe like a 4 feet in diameter. Yeah. And then having to see the truth of what's underneath our feet.
Yeah.
What is this trapped energy? And then all of a sudden, all of the little, the belief systems kind of move out the way and like, no, this is what's really going on. So it's something that I feel that me and you have that's very specific to our journey. And we started it together and we relied on one another. Yeah. How many times have we been in a gnarly situation? How about when we dealt with the giants over at, was it Glacier National Park?
Yeah, Glacier.
What was that? A year and a half ago?
Yeah. Maybe 2.
maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of the stuff they have us do now, it's been in stages. So what I'm saying for everyone out there doing your light activation stuff. Oh, my guides are moving around. They're saying too much information. Listen, okay. What I'm trying to say is this. As you wake up, be nice to yourself. Never compare yourself to someone else. What else can I say? Some of the things that me and my brother and our team has done on the planet, we did so others wouldn't have to.
Yes.
There are things that me and you have done that me and you walked off that battlefield, but there are many that probably would have never come back. They would toast
Yes.
right then. And that is not just throwing that energy out there. What I'm trying to say is I never want someone to see what that looks like. It's almost like, like imagine, there's a street fight outside of your house and you got a 4-year-old. Yeah. You don't let the 4-year-old watch the street fight. You kind of take him inside and go, honey, watch your cartoons. I'll be right back. And you go deal with that. So what I'm getting to is there is things with consciousness and the age of who we truly are. And I just want to share that with the world. This is not like everyone who's done real spiritual combat. Give me a thumbs up in this video right now because you're going to be watching this going bing, 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 bing. It's not what they tell you in the storybooks. You know what I mean? It really isn't. And when you're dealing with other dimensional realities that are blended into this reality, and there's almost like roots, all roots, it's like Yggdrasil. All the roots of all the dimensions are blended together. So if you go to a PowerPoint on Earth, many dimensions are being weaved together in those places. Hence why some of those clogs or dense areas need to be cleaned and released for the energy to flow properly, for the entire vibration of that space to come back up. So yes. I think that we do that. I mean, wars cause low spots. Yeah. We've cleaned up many different low spots on this planet.
It's an energetic stain upon that area. It has to be you to come in with the energetic mop and mop up the stain and get rid of it. But, in a sense, like what we were at the beginning, we were basically acupuncturists on the Earth's ley lines and grids. So we were doing acupuncture, with our energy going in and blasting like energy that had been trapped, like say a meridian system in the body. That was what we were doing around the Earth. We were blasting into that area, putting a high charge into that, clearing that area out so that the energy flowed again. It wasn't just sitting there like trapped like that. So we were kind of Earth acupuncturists.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm cool with being a galactic plumber. I don't need a big title down here. I got to be honest with you. I'm cool. I'm galactic, planetary Reiki master, but no, that's really what it was. And as we learned on the job and why I believe we moved so quickly through this game was because we kept getting thrown into the deep side of the pool. All right, now go clean up an Indian reservation out there that no one's walked out there. The natives won't even walk out there because they think they're skinwalkers. You two go out there and clean that up. Yeah. I mean, they send us in, you know what I mean, to do this stuff. So for all you guys out there doing this job and thinking that nobody's watching, that no one has your back, I'm just here to tell you that here at Team Light, like we love you, we see you. God sees you. Our creator sees you. The angelic realm sees you. All the beings are rooting for you. You're not alone. The main thing is that when you're doing this type of high level stuff, this heavy lifting, this is called heavy lifting. This isn't doing a ceremony on the ground. People ask me, what's the difference when you guys go into a location? Listen, 3 layers. First layer is a bunch of people go hold hands, move energy, say prayers, bring down energy into the location. Okay, level 1. Level 2. There is some grid work, let's just say. You are interacting with beings that have been there a very long time and you're assisting, okay? Level 3, we're burying grids in the ground and we are opening doors and clearing out some of the stagnates that could have been there for thousands of years. It's very rare that I even see humans when we're doing this stuff. A human's just like, oh, it's a human. I mean, the human's the 2% of what's running around down here, ladies and gents. Yeah. So when you guys kind of get into the higher levels of stuff, to know that, yes, you have a family. Yes, you're not alone. If you're really an Azurite, an ancient soul on this planet, we are here. This is not a joke. This is not a game. Yes, we are here. And I want you guys to know that keep on doing what you guys got to do to raise this planet's vibration. Don't let any distortion stop you. And after these wars settle out, in the Ukraine and Russia, the stuff in the Middle East, yeah, we probably will go there as a unit to help adjust and balance that frequency out of that place. Whenever there's a big war in a location, that's why they sent us into India, outside 30 miles outside Islamabad. We were in Jammu, Kashmir, and we were cleaning up the war from Alexander the Great and that great India king. The reason why we were there is no one had cleaned up the energy there. They're still fighting in that. You can't destroy energy, especially huge outputs of energy. They're still fighting, even though their vessels are no longer there. So you need to have someone come down and kind of clean the slate, help transmute the energy. And like I say, our main purpose with this too is no malice. We defend ourselves, but I got to be crystal clear. We are simply here from our creator to help adjust this planet so that all may thrive. There is no other motive. There is no other thing we want other than to do a good job for our creator and prove that it can be done. And many of you have the same exact purpose in your chest. And that's why we resist this matrix so much, especially when you wake up. There's a fire in me that this place cannot extinguish. There's a fire in you that this place is not strong enough to extinguish. And that fire comes from our creator. And that fire goes far beyond this little 3D hologram that we're walking around in. Our creator walks with us day in, day out. So I'm just here to remind everyone of the importance of you being in your heart, being a peaceful warrior, protecting your loved ones, and just know that we love and support you here on Team Light. But yeah, there is a real depth of knowledge here that we have not talked about. I have not really talked about. And honestly, it's taken almost a decade to get Tone on camera. I got to be honest with you. He's like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, listen, there are very awesome, gifted beings that want to share these things with you. But listen, there's a responsibility of sharing this stuff. And my brother, Tone, he knows this. When people are purging bloodline demons or negative things, programs, even artificial, synthetic, projected programs that have been affecting them from quite some time, it is very, I got to be honest with you and all the light workers out there and people that do sessions, we're here to simply illuminate what you guys need to work on and focus some energy towards clearing that out for you. We are not per se the ones that are going to be your saviors. We will show you where the water is. And we say, ladies and gents, the water is over here. Go ahead and feel free to drink. We're not going to force you to clear. We don't want to force and change your belief system, but we want you to at least believe in yourself. You need to make that connection with your soul and listen to what your soul has to say. Your higher self is your true teacher. How do you feel about that, brother?
There is no higher guru on this earth than your own higher self. There's a saying I like to say is nobody knows more than you do. Nobody knows more than you do. And just remember that your higher self is the ultimate guru. It's billions of years old. Even beyond that, it's even beyond time. But you know what you were just saying about the heart is so important, because that fire in the heart that you talked about, that fire in your heart, that is the source spark. And that fire in your heart goes all the way into the heart of source. So there is no separation. When you rest here and you feel that fire burning within, that's when you're fully connected to source. And from that point, you are infinite. The more you can stay in your heart, the more power you're going to draw. And it's good power. It's not power over others. It's empowering yourselves to be the top of your ancestry, of your bloodline. You are the one that changes everything for your bloodline, but it all starts in here where source resides, in the heart. And the more that you tap into that fire in your heart that Rion just talked about, that fire in your heart goes all the way to the heart of source. Don't ever forget that. Always keep coming back there, no matter what this world throws at you.
My brother, with that, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Team Light interviews here. If you guys would like to come, check out the links, teamlightstore.com. And we will have all the links obviously in the description on Facebook and YouTube and everything. But Tone, absolute pleasure having you on to today's show, brother. Absolute
Thanks
pleasure
for having me, brother.
And listen, you get me going because he brings up things I've already forgotten. He goes, "Hey, remember we were doing this in the next country?" And I was like,
I wind you up.
and he winds me up, and I'm like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh yeah, we did, huh?" You're like, "Yeah, we were there." I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So there's a lot of things that we're doing. And as for the collective, just know you guys have a support system. There are beings that are going through and have already gone through the tests and trials that you are going through right now. And just remember that have and find strength in your differences. Yes. Find strength in the love in your heart. Everyone's higher selves and their entire squad and their entire team and all of their ancestors that watch this game, you guys are the answer to this problem. You guys are the answer to the Rubik's Cube. As soon as you guys start believing in yourself and coming from your heart and knowing that unconditional love is the way, that is the way upstairs. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Tone, I know we're going to put the link in there. How can people find you?
Right now, we're doing it through my girlfriend, Wendy Adams. Just you can look her up on Facebook. If you need a contact for a clearing, healing, any type of psychic reading, contact Wendy Adams on Facebook. But we will put up a link later on that you can click on.
We'll put up a link right here for you guys to reach out. Yeah. And brother, was there anything else you'd like to say?
Just in relation to what you were just saying, you know, basically every human being that is ensouled on this planet strives, if they're connected to their soul, they strive for the same thing, the elevation, the evolution of their consciousness. Mm-hmm. If we can all agree on that, then all these little petty differences can go away. I know that my brothers and sisters, if they're connected to their soul, they're trying to do the same thing in the end game. We might take different paths to get there, but we're all working on the evolution of our consciousness. Keep that in your heart at all times, and you can't go wrong.
Ladies and gents, it's been an absolute pleasure. If you'd like to see me and Tone, come on out to the conference. Till then, peace.
Peace.
We are all equals. We are all family. We're all here to support one another. We look forward to seeing your guys' videos and the things that you have learned. Namaste and live catch, my family. Train very hard.
Thor, we need your help to win this battle. Let's go.
Come on, small man. Back to work. Let's hurry, okay? People are dying. See you down there.
All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my house. Words are very unnecessary, they can only do harm. All I wanted